No, it was my 60th birthday, a day I had been looking forward to for weeks. My daughter-in-law, Hannah, had insisted on planning the dinner, and though I offered to help, she told me not to lift a finger. "You just relax, Mom," she said sweetly. "We'll handle everything." I should have felt grateful, but something in her voice made me uneasy. Ever since my son, Marcus, married her 3 years ago, I had noticed how controlling she could be, especially over him. Still, for Marcus's sake, I smiled and agreed to let her plan the evening. We went to a fancy restaurant downtown, the kind with soft music and candles flickering on every table. Marcus was laughing, my grandchildren were playing with balloons, and Hannah sat next to me with that perfect smile plastered on her face. For a while, I forgot my worries. The waiter poured champagne, and everyone raised their glasses to toast me. "To Mom," Marcus said proudly, "the strongest woman we know." I smiled, feeling my heart swell with love. But then, as I lifted my glass, I noticed something strange. Hannah's eyes were fixed on me, watching every move I made. Before I could take a sip, a young waitress approached our table, her face pale and nervous. She leaned in slightly and slipped a folded napkin into my hand without saying a word. Confused, I hid the napkin under the table and opened it discreetly. My breath caught when I read the words written inside. "Don't drink that." My heart began to pound. I looked up quickly, but the waitress had already walked away. I tried to stay calm, not wanting to alarm my family. Hannah was still smiling, urging everyone to drink. "Come on, Mom, you have to taste it. It's your favorite," she said, pushing my glass closer. My fingers trembled slightly, but I forced a smile. "You're right," I said, lifting it up. And then, at the last second, I switched my glass with hers. She hesitated, her eyes flickering in surprise. But before she could react, Marcus called out, "Cheers!" Everyone drank. Hannah reluctantly took a sip from the glass she thought was mine. Within minutes, her smile began to fade. She touched her throat, then her chest, her face draining of color. "Hannah?" Marcus said, alarmed, as she began to cough and gasp for breath. I screamed for help as the waitress rushed over, shouting for an ambulance. The restaurant erupted into chaos. While Hannah was taken to the hospital, Marcus stayed by her side. I sat quietly, clutching the napkin in my hand, my mind spinning. What had just happened? Was it possible? She had tried to poison me? But why? I needed answers, and I knew exactly where to start. At the hospital, doctors confirmed that Hannah had ingested a dangerous dose of a chemical found in rat poison. Marcus was devastated, thinking it was a terrible accident. But when the police arrived, the waitress came forward with her statement. She told them she had seen Hannah pour something from a small vial into my drink, while pretending to fix her makeup. At first, the waitress thought she was imagining things, but then saw the liquid fizz briefly before settling. She panicked and slipped me the note. Marcus was in disbelief. "No," he said, shaking his head. "Hannah wouldn't. She couldn't." But deep down, I think he knew. The detectives later found a vial in Hannah's purse, the same one the waitress described. Hannah tried to deny everything, claiming she had no idea how it got there. But her fingerprints were on it, and the evidence was undeniable. When she finally confessed, her reason sent chills through me. She said she was tired of living in my shadow. "Marcus always talks about you," she spat in anger. "You're perfect, the strong mother, the example he wants me to be. I just wanted you gone so I could have my peace." I was speechless. The woman I had opened my heart and home to had tried to end my life out of jealousy. Marcus broke down completely, unable to face her. "I thought she loved us," he whispered, holding my hand tightly. "I thought she loved you." Hannah was arrested and charged with attempted murder. In the courtroom, she didn't even look at me once. I couldn't bring myself to hate her. But I would never forget the look in her eyes that night at the restaurant. After the trial, I went back to the restaurant to thank the waitress who saved me. Her name was Emily, a 22-year-old college student working part-time. "I almost didn't say anything," she admitted tearfully. But something in me told me I couldn't let it happen. I hugged her tightly, whispering, "You were my angel that night." Life after that was never the same. Marcus moved in with me for a while, trying to rebuild his life. The children missed their mother, and I did my best to comfort them. I never told them the full story. Some truths are too heavy for little hearts. But every year on my birthday, I light an extra candle, not just for celebration, but for gratitude. Gratitude that I'm still here, gratitude for a stranger's courage, and gratitude for the moment I trusted my instinct because it saved my life.